Welcome to another edition of 5 Questions with. I'm Jason Rantz. Today, we decided to ask Rachel Belle from the Ron and Don Show some of the questions that all the listeners had. And so how this works is we get questions from all the listeners. I go through them to make sure we weed out the inappropriate ones.
Were there a lot of inappropriate ones?
There were a couple that I was like, I don't feel comfortable asking my friend Rachel Belle that.
Send them along to me. I'll answer them individually.
We'll do that on the Twitter.
Yeah.
So first question is from Nate. Nate says, do I have a shot? Where would you like to go on our first date?
So that was not one of the ones you weeded out. Do I have a shot? No, you do not have a shot. I have a boyfriend. I think a first date is very particular to the kind of person you are. I personally don't like going to a restaurant and sitting down in front of somebody for a first date and being like, now let's talk to each other. I don't know, it just feels
But you're very talky.
No, I am, and I talk a lot, but I feel like I like to be moving and like doing something, and then it gives you more things to talk about if you're out and about. So I will go out to dinner, of course. You have to eat, and I love to eat.
Yeah.
But I guess more, you know what, like I did some internet dating for like a year, and that's when I didn't like sitting down. Because if you've never met them
It's
before,
weird.
it's so formal, and you're just like stuck in this trap of sitting at this desk. So
You
I
can't
like,
get out, by the
You
way.
can't get out.
That's the problem. So when
can't.
you're actually doing something, you can at least be focused on whatever activity you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm always like, what do I do with my hands? I don't know. It's weird. So I like what's the biggest turn on to me is like somebody else's creativity. Just in general, like when other people are creative and make up something, I think that it's awesome. So like I went on a first date to, when there was one, the drive-in theater in Auburn, which was really fun. And I like just kind of like a surprise. Like on one date I went on, the guy brought those googly eyes that you get from the craft store, and we walked around town gluing. This is probably going to get arrested for doing this. Like gluing them on things like fire hydrants and trees, and it makes it look like a little face. That's fun.
That's kind of a cool first
like
date.
that.
It's weird, right?
No, it's
I think
fun.
you have to have a certain personality though for that to actually work with someone.
Yeah.
You got to read the personality.
It has to be two consenting people wanting to put googly eyes on.
Consenting
things
adults is always the underlying theme.
Yeah.
Number 2, Stephen asks, why do you think road rage is on the rise?
What? This is so random.
I don't know why they wanted to ask you that, but that's the question.
Well, Stephen, as a road rage expert, I don't know. I think that people are probably stressed out at work, and I think part of it is I hate sitting at my desk. I hate sitting, looking at a computer all day. You don't get any energy out, so by the time you're in your car sitting again, you're angry because you don't want to be sitting anymore. So I think if people were standing up more or exercising or moving, maybe we wouldn't so be so mad when we're in the car.
Question number 3, Jamie asks, what are the best taco trucks in the region?
That is the greatest question of all, because I choose to fly to California to get the greatest tacos. But there are 2 places that I go. Both of them are very south. So one in Rainier, there's a bus actually.
Been to
Have you
that
been there?
one.
Tacos
Yes.
El Asadero.
It's really good.
And it's cool because it's like this old school bus, and they gutted it. And so inside the body of it, there's like a counter and some little stools. And then I guess it's like the front of it is where the kitchen is. So it's kind of fun just to be in there anyway.
It seems authentic.
It does seem authentic. You know, they do the classic 2 corn tortillas, cilantro, salsa, onions. There's no cheese or anything sprinkled on top. Sometimes you got to get sour cream. And then I like in White Center, there's a truck called La Fondita number 2. There's no number 1, so I don't know where number 1 is, if anyone wants to help find it. But besides the fact that it's really good, it's also next to this Mexican corn stand. And so they do like the classic where they coat it in lime and chili and the Mexican cheese. And then they do like 8 different kinds of roasted corn. It's really good.
Now I'm so
I have a
hungry.
punch card.
Summer asks, what is your most shameful bad habit?
Ugh, shameful bad habit. I don't really, I'm so boring. I used to be a party girl, and I used to have I used to smoke. I
can see you as a chain smoker.
I wasn't a chain smoker.
I totally could see Rachel as a chain smoker.
But I used to do a lot of fun time things that I don't do anymore because I just don't enjoy it. Like I don't even smoke pot anymore, and it's legal. I guess I eat a lot of cheese on the couch, I guess, if that's shameful.
You presented it in a way that you felt like you would be judged for it, so I think that counts.
I pick my nose when I drive. There's the truth.
That's the cause
and
of road
that's something
rage.
you're not supposed to admit, but I do, and sometimes I flick it out the window.
This is my favorite question. It's the last question. Kevin says, you and Jason seem to get along really well when I hear you on air. Is it because you're both Jews? Is it true that all Jews know each other?
Yes, it is.
It's actually pretty accurate.
Do you know everyone I know?
I think that the separation within the Jewish community, we're very close-knit, and part of the reason is there's so few of us in the majority of places that you actually live.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if you lived in, like, Topeka? You're going to know the 4 other Jews in Topeka.
I don't know that many Jews here. I will say, though, that there is, like, something about Jewish culture that you do, in general, of course not every Jewish person
Sure.
gets along, there's, like, something that you just get along with them. Like, I don't have very many Jewish friends, and when I meet somebody Jewish here, I'm like, oh my God, we're the same. We have this similar sense of humor. There's something about...
We're neurotic.
We're neurotic, and I know these are stereotypes, but things are stereotypes for a reason. I learned something, okay, I did a podcast, my friend does a podcast, and there was 4 people in it. 3 of us were Jewish, 1 was not. And I learned quickly that all 3 of us grew up in households where at least one of our parents would like walk around naked, and it was totally normal. In households where you talked a lot about like poo and pee, and
That's totally
there's
true.
just like this, it's very rare that you're like kind of like wound up, like everybody's just like casual. It's like you talk about whatever, you're
Yeah.
loud, it's like, you're making me cold in that sweater, you know, it's like, there's
I
something
instantly
to it.
like someone who's Jewish
Me
before
too.
knowing anything about them. In
Me
fact,
too.
if I dislike someone in theory,
Yeah.
and then I find out they're Jewish, I'm like, I'm your best friend now.
Yeah, I automatically like everybody who's Jewish, whose name is Rachel and who has curly hair until they do something terrible, and then I have reason not to like them anymore.
There you go. So don't
Yeah.
do anything terrible to Rachel Belle. That's been 5 questions with. Who do you want us to ask 5 questions with next time? Send us a note. Write a comment right below there. Thank you for watching.
Bye.